Hello. Good afternoon. It's Tuesday. Hi, Tara. Hi, Summer. Hope you're doing well. Parkour, back to you. I'm assuming that baby has not parkoured its way out of you yet. But it's good to see you both. Hello. Hi, Coley. Great to see you as well. Happy Tuesday. Okay. I hope they don't parkour their way out. Yeah. Tippy tappies. Yeah, Blue's trying to find a comfortable spot. Alright, well, shall we continue to pursue justice? This very big. Let me fix this momentarily. There we go. Lay down. Okay. I think it's Miles and Gumshoe, and we are trying to figure out where Pearl went and who killed the lady. I think that's what we were doing. Did we already show her everything? Do you know anything about this old crumpled up letter? Is that addressed to Iris? I don't remember the voices I did. Dang. Yup, it clearly says to Iris on it. I can't believe it. That girl doesn't have any secrets from me. Ah, so Sister Bikini didn't know anything about it. Where could she have gone? Well, we checked out her home and she's not there. She's nowhere in the vicinity of the temple either. Which means there's only a few other possibilities as to where she could be. Kind of hoping for Halloween birthday, but also I'm ready when they are. Do you think maybe she fell off the bridge and was carried downstream? Why do you have to be such a pessimist, detective? I was just trying to think like you. Oh, that's right. We've already had this conversation. Okay. Alright, so we haven't been out to the courtyard before now. And this is where the murder took place, sir. Other than removing the body, we left everything else untouched. Thanks, detective. I'll just have a look around. It looks like the police are still investigating. Oh yeah, by the way, I thought I'd better ask just to be sure. Are you really going to defend that nun, Iris, at the trial tomorrow? Yes, I will. I gave her my word, and now I must follow through with my commitment. I finished Blitzel, by the way. Turns out choosing a candy that was very quickly rebranded makes it rare to find. That's okay. I'm sure he will be beautiful. Good old Shocktart won't have ever looked better. Well, in that case, I gotta be careful. Gotta make sure I don't leak the prosecution's whole investigation. Don't worry about it, detective. Just keep your mouth closed, and I think most of it will flow out on its own. You got it, sir. I'll make sure it flows out like water from a tap. Yes, you do that, detective. Just how much has your runny spout leaked over the years? Let's look around and then we'll ask. Oh, I just love skiing. Really? You don't, seem like the type. Well, what about sleds? Oh, that's Edgeworth. Well, what about sleds? Sleds? Nah, they're a little too kiddie, you know? Messes with my hard-boiled image. Well, Sir, I don't know if hard-boiled is your image. What's with the silence, Mr. Edgeworth? Is the world starting to go mad? The main gate must just be over that stone wall. Ah, stone walls. I jumped over a few of those in my time. Most of them are good memories, but not all. Detective, perhaps someone should introduce you to the concept of paucity of words. Paucity? Google! Define paucity. The presence of something only in small or insufficient quantities. Scarcity. Okay, so little information, or little words. So the sword from this gold statue is actually the murder weapon? It sure is. It's called a shichishito, by the way. Nasty piece of work, sir. There's still blood on it. I suppose this is the victim's blood? Yup. It's all over the blade. And speaking of all over the blade, there are fingerprints all over the hilt of the shichishito, too. Fingerprints. Naturally, they match the prints we got from the younger nun, the defendant. Her fingerprints are on the murder weapon? What's wrong? You're looking really solemn. Is this how it is for Wright? Is this what it's like to be a defense attorney? Yeah, I figured it doesn't really feel good. To be honest, it feels more like it's detrimental to your health. What is this weird hole in the ground? Everything I think is important to look at, the game doesn't let me look at it. What's this? It looks like a wizard's staff. That belonged to the victim, Miss Elise Donim. There's nothing strange or magical about it. Oh yeah, listen, this is just between us, okay, sir? Yes? What? This is top secret stuff. Don't tell anyone about this. Alright. The truth is, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a wizard. And that's it? That's what you wanted to tell me? That's it! The staff was made from a very strong kind of wood. What about fingerprints? Were there any on it? Just the victim's. Okay. It's a lantern. I suppose they light it at night? There's something elegant about the light of a fire. At the end of each month, I always like to relax in my room by candlelight. Detective, can you not afford to pay your electricity bill? How did you know? We got an inaccurate due date for the first kid too, so we're more comfortable with our own guessing. Okay. Anything else significant here? The victim is the famous picture book author, Miss Elise Donim. They said November 7th for her. We said 14th. She was born the 16th. Yeah. Her entire past up until she won that Wright Award last year is a total mystery. It's hard to believe in this day and age you can still find people like that. The estimated time of death of the victim was between 10 and 11 p.m. on February 7th. You know, murder on my birthday doesn't really sound like a fun thing, but that's fine. Cause of death was blood loss resulting from a stab to the back by the murder weapon. The murder weapon? The victim was found skewered with a giant sword, sir. That's terrible. Yeah, but there's one more strange thing. Yes? The victim's entire body was covered with bruises. The bruises are consistent with falling from the height of a two-story building. A two-story building? That would be about the same height as that room in front of us, correct? Hey, you're right. Oh, that was Edgeworth. I keep getting Gumshoe and Edgeworth's talking mixed up. Way to go, Mr. Edgeworth. That just happens to be the room that Elise Donim was staying in. Maybe she was pushed out of the window after she was stabbed by the sword? Now then, Detective, let's see if we can summarize what we've learned so far. Okay, let's take a look at the map. Doctors told my mom repeatedly that I was gonna die, then I proved them all wrong. Ha! Stupid doctors. They don't know nothing. That's just Edgeworth doing an impression of Gumshoe. Oh, that's what it is. A mockery, if you will. According to the testimony of Sister Bikini, the head nun, right after they'd finished dinner, she and Maya Fey headed to the inner temple. At 10 p.m., after ringing the bell for lights out, Iris went to the inner temple. The doctor out-doctored the doctors. Yeah, bunch of dummies. Tara said, "Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do." When she got there, Bikini had her take over while she went back to Hazakura Temple. Mooned all. I'm sure you did. After taking a hot bath to soothe her back. Sister Bikini witnessed the murder in the courtyard. If you want more details, you should ask Bikini yourself in the main hall. The inner temple, huh? I'd like some more information about that place. The trial begins tomorrow, but who's the prosecutor? I'm pretty sure it's that Godot guy, but nobody can get a hold of him, so they're looking for a replacement. What do you mean? It's really weird. All of a sudden, no one can reach him. I wonder if the rumors are true. Maybe since Mr. Wright caught a cold and won't be defended, he just lost interest. I intend to appear in court in the role of defense attorney. However, I would be quite unhappy if it came out that I'm actually a prosecutor. Yeah, I can see why, but I'm not the one you have to worry about. I think the real problem's gonna be that judge. Yes, he certainly would remember my face even after such a long absence. That's why I requested that another judge preside over the trial tomorrow. We've only met each other once. There's a good chance he won't remember me at all. Yeah, but what about the prosecutor? Everyone in the prosecutor's office must know you. Wouldn't it be a problem if someone there made a big stink, sir? There's no need to worry. I pulled a few strings and arranged for a prosecutor of my own choosing. Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. I had no idea you had such a powerful string to pull. What's this inner temple that Maya was supposedly training at? According to Bikini, it's an old building that they use for training the acolytes. It's on the other side of Dusky Bridge. The bridge that burned down, huh? Is there anything else on the other side of that bridge besides the inner temple? Nope, not a thing. Nothing. The other side is surrounded by cliffs on all sides. In a way, it's kind of like a little island out there. So the only thing there is the inner temple. I hear it's not the kind of place a person could survive in. Please be alright, Maya. I've already shown him all of these things, right? His sword represents the multiple branches that life can take, all ending as one. I've never heard of that one. You know what I think about sometimes? What kind of life would I have if I hadn't joined the homicide division? So you think about that kind of thing too, huh? Of course I do. I think about it a lot. Me as a traffic cop, me as a detention officer, me as the Blue Badger. I guess he doesn't have any plans to leave the force. Oh, so I think I might have already told you about this, but the truth is when I was a kid, you wanted to become a wizard, right? Hey, that's amazing! How'd you know that? So what do you think? I'd make a really great one, don't you think? We just had this conversation a little while ago, detective. Look, I'm just your everyday simple detective. Okay. What about Pearl? Has no one seen her at all since last night? Seems that way. Apparently she hasn't gone back to Crane Village either, sir. But it's true that she was with Elise Donim at some point last night. What if Pearl killed her? No doubt about it. Ah, you mean that maybe whoever killed Miss Donim also... Don't jump to any crazy conclusions. Ouch. You sure have one mean punch, Mr. Edgeworth. Wait, did I punch him for thinking that? Let me catch up real quick on the chat. Doctors can be full of themselves. And you're right. A lot of times they don't listen to what their patient's saying. Okay. I don't see Larry anywhere. Maybe we scared the poor kid away. His heart was shut tight with a number of psycho locks. I guess I'll have to look for him now with what a thorn in my side. probably Pearl who killed What's-Her-Face. She just rolled up her sleeve like this. What a violent child.
Mr. Edgeworth.
I came back because I need to ask you a few more questions if you don't mind.
But I've already told you everything that I...
Iris, please remember, I'm on your side. You can tell me anything.
Yes, thank you.
I just finished speaking with the head nun of Hazakura Temple. She testified very clearly as to what happened. She said she saw you stab Miss Elise Donen with a sword. And one other thing, she said that when Maya Fey began her training at the Inner Temple, you were there as well.
What?
When I spoke with you last, you claimed that you never went to the Inner Temple, and yet Sister Bikini says she met with you at the Inner Temple that very night.
But I didn't go there. I didn't go to the Inner Temple last night.
Looks like she's unwilling to tell me the whole truth. I wonder if I'll find the answers I'm looking for if I break those psycho locks. This letter, it appears to be addressed to you.
I think it's someone's idea of a joke, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I threw it away.
She's not giving me a straight answer for some reason. I'm gonna have to find someone else who can give me more information about this.
Is that the murder weapon?
Yes, it is. Have you ever seen it before?
Yes, Mystic Amy was holding it in the courtyard.
And apparently the head nun witnessed the whole sad affair. She saw you stabbing Miss Elise Donen with this very sword last night. I'd like to ask you about Sister Bikini, the head of Hazakura Temple.
She raised me as if she were my real mother.
As if she were your real mother?
I was left at Hazakura Temple when I was just a small child, and she's taken care of me ever since.
Forgive me for sounding rude, but what about your family?
I'm sorry, but I'd rather not talk about this.
Yeah, because you murdered your sister.
Oh, this is the woman who was to undergo training last night. She seems like a very strong, reliable woman.
Whatever else anyone has to say about this Iris woman, I can't exactly say she's the best judge of character. Oof!
This is the trainee's younger sister, correct? She's cute as a button, and she seems to really love mashed potatoes and gravy.
Oh?
She even said she was going to have the leftovers for dinner the next night. And then she took the leftover potatoes and the whole pot of gravy with her to her room.
That's quite an appetite for such a little girl. Should I psyche lock her? I know, murder, murder, murder. And you're probably right. Terror rivals the doctor status. They just couldn't handle it. They were so threatened. Alright, let's give this a shot. I'm gonna save because I don't know if I actually have everything I need to do for the psyche locks, but we're gonna try. Since I've been handed this case, it's my duty to dig up all the answers, understand?
Yes, sir.
The smallest flame can sometimes bathe a case in a whole new light. In my years in court, I've seen it happen over and over again. That's why I'm committed to searching until I have those answers. Now then, is it really true that you didn't go to the Inner Temple last night?
Yes, I swear. I already told you that.
Yes. You said you didn't go because you were frightened.
That's right.
If that's the case, then the obvious question is, what were you so afraid of? Iris, I wonder, is this what frightened you so much that you couldn't even leave your own room? I'm thinking either the weather or the note. I'm gonna say the note. I found this in the main hall. It's addressed to you.
Ah, that's...
Well, Iris?
Why are you glaring at me like that?
You were scared of the blackmailer who wrote this to you, isn't that correct?
Ah!
Was it the evidence or the power of my glare that broke that lock? Oh well, I don't suppose it matters either way.
But, Mr. Edgeworth!
Yes?
I thought that letter was just someone playing a prank on me.
A prank?
Well, yes. After all, even if I did have a secret, there's no one to tell it to that would cause me any grief.
I wonder about that.
Sister Bikini is like a mother to me. I would never hide anything from her.
No, you may not have anything to hide under normal circumstances. However, last night was different. Unfortunately, I don't know the exact nature of your secret yet. However, whatever it is, there is one person you didn't want your secret told to. Bikini, I assume. Oh, wait, nope. Phoenix. It's Phoenix. Phoenix Wright.
Ah!
You mean something to Wright, it seems? And I can tell he holds a special place in your heart as well. That's why you didn't want him, of all people, to know your deep, dark secret. Well, what do you have to say?
I should have expected as much, especially from a friend of his.
This girl just a liar. Why you always lying?
After dinner, this letter was waiting for me in my room. As I said, I was frightened by it.
What is this heavenly hall the letter mentions?
It's a small mountain shack at the base of Dusky Bridge.
A small shack, huh?
It's more like a broken down shack that no one would ever want to go near.
Where is it on this map?
It's around here. To get there, you must follow a small path down from Dusky Bridge. The reality is, to get to the inner temple, I had no choice but to cross that bridge. But the thought that such a terrible criminal could be lurking at Heavenly Hall... I was so scared by the whole affair that I didn't even want to think about it.
So this is the secret that you locked away in your heart?
Yes.
It looks as though I may have to visit this heavenly hall now. Maybe I'll find some sign of our mystery blackmailer. In any case, you still claim you've never left your room last night.
Yes, that's exactly right.
The trial starts tomorrow. I promise you I will win. I'm going to win so that you and Phoenix Wright can see each other again. But when I do, you must promise me that you will tell him your secret.
But it's pointless.
Why would you say that?
Because I may know who Phoenix Wright is, but he has no idea who I am.
Well, he is a little dumb. It's the love shack! Love shack, yeah, yeah. Head down. The Atlanta highway. Okay, we're going to the Heavenly Hall. What in the heck am I looking at? What in the heck is this nonsense? UN meets birthday party meets engagement party. Hi, Christy. No worries. Whoa, not much of a view down here, huh? It's still better than the view from my apartment, though. Someone's here. Hide yourself, detective. I'm gonna... Yep. Why does this always happen? Whenever I find a girl I like, they always run away. Because you're a creeper, Larry. I even chased one of them to Japan. Trust me. That doesn't work. Guess it's gonna be prison, I guess. I'll steal that detective's wallet. That'll get me locked up for sure. Nah, I can't do that to someone who looks like he's down on his luck. He's just talking to himself. Shh, be quiet and listen. I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have done that. I blew it again. Done that? What did he do, I wonder? Hey, you! About what you just said. I got an objection. Whoa, what the? Edgy! You dirty rat! Come shoo, you oaf. I'm sorry, sir. Before I knew it, I was shouting out objection. And in a loud commanding voice, too. I even pointed with my pointer finger. You've watched too many trials. I'm sorry. Okay, Larry, the jig's up. What have you got to say for yourself? What is this little shack anyway? Well, I just discovered it myself yesterday. And why were you down here in the first place? Come on, I'm an artist. I was looking for a good place to sketch. This is a great little place. It's, artistic. It's quiet, it's cold, it's got no power, and it looks like it's about to collapse. Sounds a lot like my apartment there, pal. One thing's for sure, no one is likely to show up and disturb you here. So can I get you something to drink? Some hot water, maybe? He's getting all buddy-buddy on us, sir. Listen to me, Edgy. You gotta do this. You gotta save Iris. Why are you so sure she's innocent? Because she's cute? Watch your mouth! Anyway, I've made up my mind about it. I'm gonna marry that girl. Mr. Edgeworth's pretending he didn't hear you, so I'm gonna ask for him. Have you already asked this girl to marry you? No, not yet. But I could tell how she feels by the look in her eyes. She's got this I really want this man to carry me over the threshold look. Oh my gosh! Larry! Please! You're gonna get put on a watch list! I'm sure Nick would be surprised. He'd never imagine that I could marry such a beautiful girl like that. Something tells me he would be shocked indeed. That's why I didn't want her to do anything dangerous. I mean, what am I gonna do if she gets hurt? Yeah, please put him on a watch list. Thank you for the ban. What is this guy trying to say? He lost me about a mile back. Wow, I'm mixing up Butts and Edgeworth's Gumshoe's voices now. If we really want to know the answer to that, we're gonna have to drag him into the witness stand. Come to think of it, you still haven't answered my question. Where were you, and what were you doing last night? Oh man, don't you have anything else to talk about? With that kind of attitude, you'll never be a ladies' man like me. Okay, chill out with the scary eyes, I got it. If you really want to know last night, I saw something incredible. Something incredible? Of course! Yeah, but let's not talk about that now. Let's talk about the good old days. What do you say? Come on, I'll pour you a nice cup of hot water. Why hasn't he realized that I absolutely despise talking about the good old days, especially with him? That's the stuff that Miss Elise was always carrying. I just noticed his shoulder bows. Yeah. Miss Elise, oh hi! Huh? What is it, Larry? There's something missing from this staff. There's something missing? Oh, hey, it's Pearl! But she's way cuter than this Pearl I used to go out with, like in a kid-cute way. Yes, well, apparently she hasn't been seen the whole morning. What did you say? Edgy? Why are you wasting your time with me then? What's wrong with you? Excuse me? If anything happens to her, I'll never forgive you. Wow, I guess he's right for a change, sir. Now I feel like I'm the bad guy in all of this. Oh, it's Maya. Nick was trying to go save her, you know. But instead, he wound up falling off the bridge. But I'm not surprised, though. Nick always gets himself into trouble. If that isn't the pot calling the kettle black. I just hope Maya doesn't catch a cold, too. Or something worse. Okay, shall I save and try his locks? Yeah, I didn't notice the shoulder bows either. Alright, now you're gonna tell me what you really saw last night. Whoa, you're really upset, aren't you, Edgy? Okay, I'll talk. Huh? That was a bit too easy. Yeah, anyway, it was awesome. Never seen anything like it. At around 10 o'clock last night, it started thundering. I'd been sleeping. I'm not sure how long. Suddenly, zing! The world in front of me went white. Like I'd just been slapped in the face by my old girlfriend, Naomi. And then it was on fire. The bridge was on fire. Dusky Bridge caught on fire? Are you saying you saw it with your own eyes? Hey, why are you giving me the evil eye? I'm telling the truth. There's still 3 psycho locks remaining. That means he's still trying to hide something. By the way, Larry, where were you when you saw that happen? Where you say? What do you mean? What do you mean, what do I mean? Just answer the question. I was in my own room, by the main hall. Where else would I be? As usual, you're transparent as an empty jelly jar. The problem, I suspect, lies there. There? What do you mean, there? It's impossible for you to have seen the lightning strike Dusky Bridge from your room. Oh yeah, because of all of the twisties and turnies in the cliff. This is a map of the area. Take a look around the vicinity of Hazakura Temple. What am I looking for? I think that should be fairly obvious. The main hall is surrounded by trees, and it's impossible to see the bridge from here. What? Why didn't you tell me that before? Well, how about it? How about what? Do you feel like talking now? About what? It looks like it won't be that easy after all. So it's like he's not really trying to hide something, he's just a big idiot. You leave me no choice. I'll have to move on to the next step. You weren't in your room at the temple, so then where were you? You don't know that I wasn't in my room. So where was Larry, and why was he there? If I've read the situation to this point correctly, the answer's fairly obvious. Very well then, let's test my theory. Place you witnessed lightning striking Dusky Bridge was from Heavenly Hall. The place you saw the lightning strike was naturally Heavenly Hall. Why would we be hanging around in this old shack? It's freezing cold, there's no electricity, it could fall apart any minute. Larry, how do you know that anyway? How do you know there's no electricity? After all, it's not that dark yet. Uh-oh. In other words, you have just provided evidence to prove my theory. My theory that you've at least once in your life visited Heavenly Hall after sunset. I have to admit, I'm impressed, Edgy. You're in a totally different league from Nick. That's nice. Now tell me, what were you doing at this cold little shack last night? That's what you might call a far decor. I think you mean a fair decor. Could it be you were waiting for someone? Oh no. You really are one scary guy, you know? I believe that last night you were waiting for this person to come meet you. There's only one person you'd wait for in a horrible place like this, Larry. I told you before, don't call me Larry! The person you were waiting for was Iris. Oh, suddenly I feel cold all over, Edgy. No doubt because of my chilly glare. So you think I got the hots for Sister Iris, huh? Do you have some kind of evidence? You got something to prove I was waiting for her? Or are you just guessing? This is where I draw the line in this ridiculous little game. Here's the evidence that proves you were waiting for Iris. Nope. Here's your evidence. You called her to the spot with a pathetic blackmail letter. Oh, hey! Give that back! You're embarrassing me! What are you doing with that anyway? That's not important. I misjudged you, Larry. What do you mean? Taking advantage of a woman's frailty like that? You should be ashamed of yourself. Oh! First of all, what's this at the top of the letter? It says salutation here. Well, that's what it said in that book, Letter Writing for Dummies. You're not supposed to actually write that. That's where you're supposed to write, Dear Iris. I'm so sorry. He's so dumb. So you were here in Heavenly Hall last night, weren't you, Larry? And you saw the lightning hit Dusky Bridge, didn't you? Sorry, Edgy. Sorry doesn't cut it, you scumbag, threatening a young lady like that? Wait, hold up. What now, pal? What are you talking about? What threatening stuff? I'll tell you what, you tried to scare Iris by threatening to expose her secret, pal. What do you mean, threaten? When did I threaten her? Unless you want your secret to be exposed. That sure sounds like a threat to me, pal. Blackmail, in fact. Give me a break. It's a love letter. Haven't you ever been in love? What did you just say? My love for her burned so hotly, could melt all the snow on this mountain. Oh, then what is this secret you mention? Come on, Edgy, don't you get it? Talking about the secret love between her and me. Obviously, she wouldn't want Old Lady Bikini to know about it, right? About our hot and sour, bittersweet love affair? Ew! Alright, then why did you send a love letter in a business-like manila envelope? Give me a break, it's not my fault I didn't have any other envelopes, yeesh! Why were you so quick to apologize, pal? It's 'cause Edgy gave me that scary look of his! What's wrong, Edgy? Why are you so quiet all of a sudden? That's it? That's what all those huge locks were about? I don't understand why you were so defensive. Well, I don't know either. I guess the thing is, you shouldn't expect too much from a guy like me. Hey, come on, don't let it get you down. But Mr. Edgeworth, this guy is still hiding something, I know it. What do you mean, detective? Don't forget what this guy said just a minute ago. If you really want to know, last night, I saw something incredible. He's right. Larry? What? You're looking at me like a hungry dog that just found a bone. What was this something incredible you saw last night? You're gonna tell me, Larry, one way or another. One way or another, you're gonna tell me. I already told you, didn't I? I saw lightning strike Dusky Bridge. Yes, and I believe it was the incredible sight you saw. But now that I think about it, something doesn't quite ring true. What doesn't? If that's all there is to your story, your heart wouldn't have had all those locks. Therefore, Larry, I do believe you saw something last night, something more incredible than lightning. What? When? Where? Why? How? Hey, what do you think you're doing? If you had anything from Mr. Edgeworth, I'll arrest you on the spot, pal. More? No. What's wrong, sir? Does this mean I have to do it all over again? Why are you glaring at me like I'm next to be hit by a bolt of lightning? Just about had it with this harlequin. If I really want to drag the truth out of him, I'll just have to drag him to the witness stand. Dang, 5 more locks? It's starting to kind of look like Larry did it. And because we know that Iris / Melissa / Dahlia is a liar, cheater, murderer, then part of me wants to say that she put him up to it because he's so in love with her. Hi, Puffy. Let me take a little bit of water. I've noticed it's hard to, like, go much longer than 2 hours when I do visual novels because I'm reading everything. It's just hard for me to read nonstop for, like, 2 hours. Especially when I'm doing voices and stuff. Bring him to the witness stand where he can lie freely with no consequences whatsoever.
Oh my, Mr. Larice feels that way about me?
Apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. This is no time to be embarrassed.
I'm sorry. I'm just hardly accustomed to that sort of thing.
Worry not, and in any case, whatever it was that he saw on the night of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him.
Does that mean Mr. Larice is the witness today?
No. I believe that none will be the first to take the stand.
Sister Bikini.
She claims to have seen the very instant in which you carried out the crime. I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Miss Elise Donim, correct?
That is correct. It wasn't me.
Very well, then.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes?
You're a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? If your true identity is revealed...
Don't worry. I've made the necessary arrangements.
I see.
Iris, it is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I am a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people, and to believe until the bitter end. That's what my friend told me once.
Mr. Edgeworth.
I simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself, whether or not I am fit to do the task I have been entrusted.
Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands.
Miles is the better person to put your trust into, but I don't like Miles putting his trust into that stupid lady's words. Cause she a liar. She a liar and a murderer. And a crazy and a psycho. I'm trying to sit comfortably, but the way, like the height that my chair is, if I sit cross-legged like this, I can't get my knees underneath. So if I lower myself, I still can't really get my knees underneath. Oh well. Oh well. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. Maybe I'll do like board voice for this judge. I think last time I just kind of did similar to what I do to the old man judge. I think I might just do like board. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The defense does indeed appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. An empty prosecutor's chair can only mean the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. It would seem this case is already over before it had a chance to begin. I'm ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds the defendant... Francisca's back! Holy crap! Girl, I thought you was like gone to Germany or whatever.
The prosecution stands ready.
And you are?
Francisca von Karma, prosecuting prodigy.
Von Karma, you say? Perchance you wouldn't be of any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred von Karma?
Legends are a thing of the past. I am a von Karma, that is all. Upon a special request, I flew in today for the purposes of prosecuting this case.
You did? Then you must be quite a big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. I'm almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before. Am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once. I believe you are imagining things, Your Honor. Why would I lie like that? Ms. von Karma, do you have anything to say?
There is no such weakling as this man among those of the prosecutor's office.
There isn't, but I'm sure once before in this courtroom.
I told you there's no such weakling!
What is that, a whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. Bailiff, remove that whippet. I have no objection to the whip. You don't? The prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee, but there's still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today.
This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I had expected to face Phoenix Wright here today, but looking at you now, maybe this is what I've been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you. Slip through my fingers.
I see you brought your flair for the histrionic. Allow me to add to the things I'm not sure about, people acting bizarrely in my court. Oh!
The stage is set. Now continue with the proceedings, Your Honor.
Very well. Miss Von Karma, please give an outline of the case. With as little whipping as possible.
The murder victim is the famed picture book author, Miss Elise Donim. Her body was found in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue.
The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well. The court accepts this photo of the crime scene.
There's no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there's a witness to her crime.
Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney. Interesting to see Edgeworth on that side. Oh, whoa.
Witness, state your name and occupation, please.
Hold on, here I'm not sure about being not sure if I care about for this at all. With as little whipping possible, for Franny is still more whipping than the entirety of 50 Shades. Why would you know? Would you know? Your favorite book series? Witness, please stand up nice and straight. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for our back pain-plagued witness. Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please.
Once again, your name and occupation, please. Little old me. Well, I'm the head nun of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. You got it right? Bikini? Nice to meet everyone.
But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now.
The courtroom is the garden of holy judgment. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave this sanctuary at once.
You want me to leave?
No need to get your bikinis in a twist, let me tell you. I'm a sight to behold in summer.
In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question.
That's right. I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way dear little Iris could do anything like that.
Let us hear what you have to say then. First, tell us about your own movements that night, eh?
That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There's no bath at the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long hot soak. It was after I had finished, just as I was heading back, that's when I saw it.
Yeah, there's Blue.
Everybody. People say hi to Blue. Hi, Blue.
Blue, look this way.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
See the camera? Blue. Blue. You can't look through the window, it's closed.
See the camera? Hi, camera. Hi, camera. Hi, camera.
So it was simply... What are you barking? She's literally trying to look through the slats of the windows, and as you can see, the blinds are closed. She's like... It's simply coincidence that you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple.
Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed at the inner temple.
That sounds like a pretty important statement she just made.
There's only one problem with this testimony that I could see. And you're not about to fall at the first hurdle now, are you, Miles Edgeworth?
Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination. Ah, sorry. Very relaxed. My cats just shove their faces through the slats anyway.
Do you want to see?
Here, I help you.
There. You can see a little bit. That better? You like to watch? Like to watch for people and things. Widow only!
Yeah. Oh! Manfred von Karma! Are you watching me from prison? Thank you so much for the follow. I hope you're having a good day. Has my blind message popped through at all? Oh yes, okay, good. What is this inner temple?
Well, see, conversing with the spirits is what we train people to do, right?
We'll be the ones asking you the questions, madam.
In order to do that, a place strong in spiritual power is required. There's a small temple across Dusky Bridge called the Inner Temple. Acolytes must spend an entire night there.
I forget the voice I was just doing with her. No, she's a silver lab. She's a silver lab. Bailiff Blue.
So hello! Hello, Blue.
Acolytes must spend an entire night there to undergo intense training. And how exactly do you help with this process?
It's all quite exacting. It can't be performed without an unsupervising. Like a tutor watching to make sure a spoiled child studies.
Tutor with a whip in your case. If that's the case, then why did you return to Hazakura Temple where the murder took place?
Well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently.
Violently?
That's right. It's no laughing matter, especially in winter. I can't hold anything heavier than a knife and fork during the cold months. Just being alive is like strict training.
Wahaha! 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 On the night of the murder, was this fabulous back of yours hurting again?
That's right. Raging like a bull in a pig pen. I almost fainted once or twice. I just knew that unless I warmed it up, it was going to finally finish me off. So I left Iris to help the Acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple.
You left Iris to help. With what?
What do you think? The Acolyte's training, of course. It was just past 10 p.m., so we were starting to enter into the training exercises proper.
Wasn't it your place to remain with the disciple?
Well, the job is simply to watch over the Acolyte so that they don't pass away.
Excuse me? So that they don't what? Just to confirm this point again, that night, you met Iris in the Inner Temple, correct?
Yes, yes. She's a gentle, honest girl. She's never once failed to follow my directions.
So you returned to the Hazakura Temple in order to take a bath.
My back is to blame for everything. It's a do-or-be-done-in kind of world, after all.
How long were you in the bath for, if you don't mind my asking?
My, what a filthy little rogue you are. I know what's on your mind. Excuse me, ma'am. No. I bet your next question is going to be, where exactly did you wash? Ah, this is why you have to watch the young ones.
What are you going on about? I was...
Pathetic, Miles Edgeworth.
The lowest of the low. Is there some sort of kick me sign stuck to the defense's bench?
Now you know how it feels, huh? Anyway, I couldn't afford to be away from my post for too long, you understand, so...
The crime took place in the courtyard, correct?
When you go from my room to the main hall, you have to take a winding hallway from which you can see the courtyard. That's right. In other words, it was pure coincidence that the witness saw the crime taking place before our eyes. There was no complicated setup in this case.
That certainly seems to be true. There's indeed only one problem with this testimony. If I can clearly point out what it is, then I can begin to quantify.
So I don't have like a little sidekick with me on the defense bench, do I?
Just how good this witness's memory and observation skills are. Okay. So... Yeah, so the little gem thing is missing. Rang lights out at 10 and then was in her room until the murder was discovered. A chibi angel and chibi devil version of himself, yeah. Very Kronk. So, I kind of want to use Iris's testimony here. I don't know. Worst case is I just am wrong about this, but I'm gonna use Iris's testimony. Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their powers of observations and memory, after all. Well, 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 don't worry, I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakura Temple. In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like you to explain something for me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all. No, she said that.
A defendant or a witness? Who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? The defendant simply lying to cover her back.
But that's completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi. But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe she would lie. She does indeed have honest eyes.
All people lie, that's my belief.
Why am I the only one being whipped in here? Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie, which means they must call your memory into question. Dear, dear, you're older than me and yet you want to play that game, do you? Well, that isn't exactly what my memory is perfect. Crystal clear, especially in winter. Then I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Mr. Edgeworth, if you are going to question the memory of this witness, you will need to show a more decisive piece of evidence. Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that alone would do the trick. My nails are getting long, I just realized. Then please add your comments about Iris to the testimony, and let us return to the cross-examination. Okay, Iris came to the inner temple. She was dressed exactly as she had been at dinner. Are you sure that you're not making a mistake? You, young man, need to get your estimation of me up from the floor. Iris always wears the same clothes. The smallest thing out of place would have stood out like a sore thumb to me. You're making a mistake thinking I made a mistake. An excellent finish there, witness. Still, I have to wonder. What about the hood? I'm killing it. Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon warding hood, correct? Of course. That's a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Wahaha! Wahaha! Haha! Wait a minute.
Objection! Hold it right there. Why do you have that?
That's the question of the day now, isn't it, Miss Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night. Before the lights out bell was rung.
What?
You know where I'm going with this, don't you? If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, then the iris she saw should have been missing this very hood.
Well, well, well!
Look at her standing on the car crate. It's not a bad feeling at all, exposing contradictions like this. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it. Order in the court.
Sister, this hood. You have spare ones around the temple, don't you?
Spares? Well, I do tend to make too many of them. I see a stockpile. Surplus of hoods, eh?
Each nun is only given one hood. This should be the only hood that Iris owned.
Then this is quite strange. Oh.
If there was a surplus of hoods, then she could have had worn one of those. There's no contradiction here.
Sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. Unless she was Robin Hood. The seeds of doubt. Witness. While I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt, you must give every detail with precision.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable getting along with this. Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath on your way back up to the inner temple.
Those seeds of doubt are sprouting in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation.
I finished my bath around 11 and I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise.
I'm going Jersey with her now.
I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and Iris was... Oh, Mystic Elise!
And with that sword of all things.
Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room which faces out into the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window.
You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? Yeah, if I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in two in court. And me seeing it all from this very chair. Oh, well, something like that. This judge. His imagination's about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe.
I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth.
Calling everyone by their full name, can't you do something about that habit of yours?
I finished my bath around 11.
Hold it!
How far is it from your room to the inner temple?
Let me think a moment. About 20 minutes on these stumps of mine. It's about 15 minutes to Dusky Bridge from Hazakura Temple.
The inner temple is just beyond the bridge.
Still, you never made it back there that night, did ya?
That's right. I was heading along the walkway toward the main hall.
Hold it!
You say you heard a noise.
Thump! Just like that. That could only be the sound of the victim falling.
It's very quiet in the temple, you know. You can even hear the snow falling from the branches. Thump! Just like that. But then couldn't this noise you heard have been snow falling to the ground? I never thought of that. Wahaha! Wahaha! Haha! Ha ha.
The next one to laugh gets a whipping.
Well, whatever the source of the sound, I looked over at the courtyard and...
Hold it!
This is the second time that the witness has testified to seeing the defendant, but some doubt remains in these claims. Hey, just what does that mean? Just because you're a good-looking young man doesn't give you the right to... The murderer who stabbed the victim with the sword. Sister Bikini, try to recall exactly who it was you saw as clearly as you can. Well, you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. Oh, now that you mention it, there was something awfully strange about her. Something that's been bugging me all this time. Please don't keep us in suspense. Her hood.
Her hood?
That's right. It's coming back to me. Iris, she wasn't wearing her hood. I thought something was out of place, but it all makes sense now, doesn't it? After all, she'd given that hood away to someone, right?
You've dug your own grave, Miles Edgeworth.
What do you say, Mr. Edgeworth? Is this testimony important? Yeah. This may initially appear to put me at a disadvantage, but I can't see any other leads at the moment. Your Honor, I'd like these new statements to be added to the testimony.
Miles Edgeworth, if you want to hang yourself, you need only ask. I'll gladly lend you my whip.
Witness, add the statement to your testimony.
No problem.
Hold it!
You're sure about that?
Yes, after all, we always wear the same clothes.
Ah, I don't mean because we're poor, you understand. It's our style. Yes, that's it. There's absolutely no need to explain yourself. Anyway, she looked different from normal, so that really stuck out.
Like me holding a whippet puppy instead of my whip.
At least then it might bite you and not someone else. Iris didn't have a hood on, I'm sure of it. Very well. Now please tell us about the victim, eh?
Hold it!
The room the victim was staying in overlooked the courtyard, correct? Which means the victim's room was on the second floor. No, Hazakura Temple is a single-story building. But the mountain itself slopes downward, which elevates the main gate side of the temple and the guest rooms in the back to about the height of a two-story building. I see, and the victim was staying in one of these elevated rooms, correct? Yes, I should know. I'm the one who carried her things to her room, after all.
Hold it!
What makes you so sure of all this? It's just like I told you earlier. I heard a noise from the courtyard. Thump. Just like that.
You're one smart sister, I'll give you that. The autopsy report states that the victim's body was covered in bruises, indicating a fall from around 10 feet in height.
It appears the witness was not mistaken then.
Yep, I'm more than just a pretty face, especially in winter. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakura Temple.
There's only 2 of them working there.
What's wrong, Miles Edgeworth? No snappy comeback remark?
Doesn't feel like she's lying. This is very powerful testimony, too. She claims to have seen the instant in which the defendant stabbed the victim. There are only 2 things I can believe in right now. My client Iris and my own abilities as a defense attorney. Okay. Iris doesn't have her hood on here either. Well, I guess it's there. It's just down. So if she finished her bath at 11, then Elise would have already been dead. I think I have to go for that. Because it said that she would have died between 10 and 11. Aw, crap, that wasn't it. Load. I thought I was onto something. Another thing is that if she finished her bath around 11, this would have been after. Dang. It would have been after the bridge caught fire. So I'm still confused about this timing here. Guess maybe I need to present the hood again. Dang. See, this says body fell 10 feet after death. See, no. If she died because she was stabbed and then her body fell after she died, then this line cannot be true. Yeah. Impressive logic. That's what I'd like to say anyway. Oh, please do. My brain is something else, especially in winter. However, I think you're overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report?
The autopsy report?
The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed.
Oh!
That's right. It says after death right here. The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard, how'd the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall?
Ah!
Order! Order! The victim was killed and then fell? If that's the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room, don't you agree?
That's the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room. And then she was thrown out of her window down into the courtyard below.
Were there any signs of a struggle in Miss Stonim's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a blood stain, wouldn't you agree? Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood?
No traces of blood were found in the victim's room.
Your whips just caused traces of blood to be found on my glorious playoff beard. However, if there was no...
Well, I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this, as I'm sure Your Honor is well aware of when a stab wound produces the most blood.
When it produces the most blood?
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed.
Indeed, with the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound. Thank goodness Franny has a clear Joyzy accent. Thank you. Thank you. You know, it's not like she's German or anything. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking.
We have come to a conclusion then. The victim was thrown out of the window with the sword still in place. This removes all the contradictions.
Order, order, order! I must admit this is a probable version of events. I'd expect no less from Franziska Von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point. It seems that we need a clear testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition on your part and tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please. Remain standing on the crate. Don't go selling me short now! The weight of winter snow has bent me out of shape. Especially my back and my mood.
Sister, please give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here.
With the whip?
Oh boy.
Alright, alright. I'm crushing it. Killing it. I'm so much better at Ace Attorney when I don't go 3 months between episodes. When I looked across the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. She could have been removing. I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I awoke, Mystic Amy was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back. This is all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory. Von Karma strive for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth. Perfection is an impossibility, Francisca Von Karma. And I'm here to teach you just that. At that time, was the victim bleeding? Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all this, of course. So I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think I saw any blood, not then. I'm sure that you didn't. The weapon was acting as a plug in the wound. In any case, let's be clear on one very important point. Did you actually see the instant in which the victim was stabbed? Think carefully. This is very important. It's Iris we're talking about here. I'm thinking for all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mystic Elise's body. It might not be conclusive, but this testimony supports her theory. The victim was stabbed in a room and then dropped into the courtyard. I think this proves it rather well, Miles Edgeworth. So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood? That's right. Some of it had splattered onto Iris, too. When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room, and her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner. What? Her clothes were blood-flecked as well? That seems quite conclusive to me. What should I do? Should I press this point further? Yeah, of course. Going back to your previous statement, you said you saw a little bleeding when the victim was stabbed, but now you say you saw the victim bleeding. Well, I say that what I saw is what I saw. What did you see? Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day. Well, that's very different. Pulling a weapon out of somebody and sticking it into somebody are two very different things. Pulling the sword out? Well, it wasn't exactly pulling, it was more like it came out. Witness, you will add this statement to your testimony. Oh, was that important? More important than you can imagine. I saw the instant in which the blade plunged into the hilt. How could it have been plunged into the hilt? It would have been all the way down in the ground or all the way through her. The blood would have come all the way up. That can't be true, yo! Smoothly, you say? You're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out. That's right. The whole thing happened next to the gold statue of Mystic Amy. See, that picture cannot be true, because if it was, then the blood would have come all the way up. Oh, the sword talk makes me miss Zorro. I know, me too. Mystic Elise was on the ground and Iris was stooped over her. The sword was buried up to the hilt. When Iris stood up, the sword in her hand just slid out of Mystic Elise's body. It slid out from that gaping wound. Ah! It goes without saying that if the sword was removed, there would be bleeding. Nothing out of place here. Is that really the case? I can't help but feel that something about this testimony is very out of place. Something which couldn't have possibly have happened appears to have happened. Now on to what the killer did next. You saw none of it, correct? Well, I was unconscious. How long were you out for? I don't know. 10, maybe 20 minutes? A young man with a very prickly looking head woke me up. By stepping on me, actually. I'm not sure I like that method of resuscitation. Well, I wasn't asking for mouth to mouth or anything of the sort, but I would have welcomed a more gentle awakening right about then, let me tell you. I shall have words with the offender personally. What did you see upon awakening? By Mystic Amy, you're referring to the golden statue, correct? Just stabbing someone with the Shichishito, a sacred treasure, is terrible enough. But to then make Mystic Amy hold the blade.
Truly a heinous, despicable crime.
It's easy to despise something. Anyone can do it. However, there is something that cannot be done so easily.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it's doubly hard for you. Anyway, what's the problem?
Exactly why would the killer set up that gruesome scene? Can anyone explain the reasoning behind that? No, I don't think I can.
There isn't always a logical reason behind why someone acts.
That's true, so true. In early spring, for example, I often find myself... There isn't always. That phrase might come in handy someday. There are too many unnatural elements in this case. Why was it necessary to use the Shichishito from the Amy statue as a weapon? Why was the weapon ultimately placed back in the hand of the statue? If I can expose the flaws in this testimony, perhaps then I will begin to find the truth. So I think that the line where it was buried up to the hilt, I think it's this one. Because if it was that far into her, then there would be blood all the way up. Sister Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least, I'd like to think so, but there are too many contradictions here.
What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. What contradictions are you talking about?
In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities. What do you mean? Please explain you. Oh.
Explain yourself!
To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that.
Doesn't appear? What meaningless dribble? I too may appear to be weak and frail, but I can crush men under my heel and make them weep, should I so choose.
This objection stands. I wept a little back there, I must admit. That isn't the only issue here. If this sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly would not come out smoothly.
That's...
We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding.
That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with the Shichishito. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly and may still sometimes stop the blood loss.
I'm not finished. There's still one more conclusive contradiction. You still got more? This one is simple. If the sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? Do you want me to move those things, Blue, so that you can have more space? Here you go. There you go. You can lay down all that space.
Very nice. Very sweet.
Ah! If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword.
No! Bravo, Miles Edgeworth. Raising this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage one, if that.
But what does it all mean? We have proven contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but having come this far, there can only be one answer.
And that is...
Hi, Reddy. Dog cam. Yeah. How you doing? The weapon used to kill the victim was not the Shichishito. What?
A foolishly foolish idea born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy foolish fool.
Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think this sword was the murder weapon?
Well,
it's because Mystic Amy was holding it. Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the Shichishito was the murder weapon. Game is going well. I feel like I'm doing good. My brain is braining very well today.
So maybe the Shita was not the murder weapon. Even if that's the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object.
That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises. The obvious question? Yes. Namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found.
That's...
Answer the question, Miss Von Karma.
No evidence of that kind was found.
Another mystery to throw in the pile. A trial without a murder weapon is a tricky beast. Excuse me.
Excuse me. Could I say something? I just remembered something, actually. What is it, sister?
I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was, it was just over there. What exactly are you going on about here?
The murder weapon, I mean. Maybe. I think I might know where the sword was disposed of.
You what?
Well then. I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister.
Impossible. What else? What else could this old woman have seen?
I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there I saw tracks. Tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all.
Witness, please tell us everything you know right away next time.
Well, I'm not in the best shape. What with my back and my age, you know. Quite. There were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Here's a photograph.
Okay. Well, hang on a second. I don't know if you heard that, but my dog just farted. These tracks raise an issue because there's only tracks behind the snowmobile, which means that the snowmobile have been driven up and then parked. And, yeah, she's very comfy right now. It was driven up and parked. If it had been, driven away from the gate, you would think that the tracks would also be, like, in front. That's what my brain would say anyway.
The tracks begin in front of Hazakura Temple and run all the way to Dusky Bridge.
The photo evidence is creating more contradictions? Yeah.
That solves your pesky little problem, yes? The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon.
Did she really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon? Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please.
Hold it!
You sure about the time?
Yes, I was worried about it after all.
Why was that?
Because I have a strong sense of responsibility, especially at this time of year. The acolyte was being doused in freezing water at the time. I couldn't very well take it easy in the bath all night, now could I? So at 11, I decided to leave Hazakura Temple.
Her estimation of the time seems reliable, at least.
Please continue, sister.
Hold it!
You asked Phoenix Wright to report the crime, correct?
Right, the one who trampled me.
Seems she's the type to hold a grudge.
There isn't a phone in the main hall, so I sent him to the bridge. Phoenix Wright, he didn't even have his cell phone on him.
He'd forgotten it at home, apparently.
What a naive boy, as always. Not only do I always have to carry my phone, but I always have my whip in hand, too. Anyway, I was really scared, and it was taking him a while to get back.
so I thought I'd go out by the main gate for a spell.
Hold it!
As I recall, there was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited. That's it! That's the only one we have. It'll run no matter how much snow falls. Now, you're certain the snowmobile was there at the main gate when you arrived? Yes, of course. It was parked in front of the gate.
So she had already gone, discarded the murder weapon, and returned by that time?
Not sure if this is really relevant. What should I do? Always press. I need answers to every possible doubt. The snowmobile in question, was it still warm at the time? Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean, eh?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm playing to a slow crowd here. It goes without saying that using a snowmobile will heat up its engine. If it was still warm, then it means it was recently used. Ah, I see! I never thought of that! I overlooked that too.
Of course you did.
Can answer the question, please, witness.
I don't often go around touching hot engines.
However, now that you mention it, there wasn't any snow on it. Snow? Yes, for some reason. Only the snowmobile wasn't covered in snow. There wasn't any snow on it? Curses. Seems highly likely that the killer did use the snowmobile then, eh?
How long does it take to get to Dusky Bridge by snowmobile?
She already said less than 5 minutes.
Hold it!
In that case, why didn't you use it yourself? You could have spared yourself some walking.
There's a reason for that. Have we got a moment for me to explain?
I think that's why the question was asked in the first place. It was about a month ago. I was driving my beloved little snowmobile, happy as can be. I fetched some water and was heading back when I crashed into a tree. The tree and my back both went crunch. Just like that, crunch. Crunch. I haven't been able to find the courage to write anything since then. Anyway, the killer must have used it.
Hold it!
Refresh our memory, how long were you knocked out for? Like I said, somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes.
It's possible to get to the bridge and back in 10 minutes using the snowmobile.
I have to concede that is more than enough time.
Is that all you wish to concede, Miles Edgeworth?
Yes, you did.
Hold it!
While it would have been possible time-wise, one element remains out of place here. The killer's reasoning, Your Honor. Why did the killer do all of this? Why go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon when there are other methods? Your response, Miss Von Karma?
Turning to me for help over the slightest thing. Why don't you think for yourself every once in a while, Your Honor?
What? She's as over the top as always.
Anyway, whatever the reason, the fact remains that the defendant could have done this. The murder weapon was disposed of in the river. Another point for me, Miles Edgeworth.
Another mystery to feed the fire. Was there any reason to go and throw away the murder weapon? Luckily, there is surely a problem with this testimony. Now all I have to do is start poking holes in this flawed account. Okay. I'm gonna use the tracks thing with the picture. Unless she really likes naps out of nowhere, yeah.
Objection!
Nope, okay. That's not it. Doesn't that seem logical, though? Doesn't my logic seem logical? There are also footprints. This is going to be important at some point.
Is your nap good? Did you have a good nap? What do you need? If you're asking about your DINNR, it's not time yet. You need to wait an hour and 15 more minutes. Okay? Be patient.
Unlike Welcome to Derry Episode 1, what happens? So my thing is, if they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while she was knocked out, and she got knocked out at 11 o'clock, then that means that at that point, the bridge should have already been on fire, right? A bad start and flying garbage, okay. So, I'm so confused. That a crazy lady gave birth in a quite graphic fashion. Oh. No, ma'am. No. No. You have to learn how to accept a no. Oh, a hug. Oh, hug and kisses. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm so confused. Okay, so... $10.45. Nope. Dang. They're slow. Where are the food at? Exactly. I'll stay in your way until I get what that's how she's doing it. I'm so confused. I don't know. The one thing that I thought I knew is not correct. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The snowmobile is normally kept at the main gate. Ooh. No. Is there anybody in the chat still, maybe Christy or HS, that can help me by letting me know which statement I need to present evidence on? I don't know if one-way tracks make sense though, because if it's kept at the gate and it was taken away from the gate and then brought back, then I would think there would be two-way tracks. You were on the right track with the track photo. Okay. And when you say 5, do you mean the 5th statement? So, I didn't need both things. I think I just needed one of the things. Either the evidence or the statement. Yes, Niddle Queen. So, this photo. Oh, is it the whole come back? Okay. So it's her whole phrase that just says come back. I see. I admit this photograph proves something. It proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder.
You finally accepted the inevitable, it seems, Miles Edgeworth.
However, if what the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks? So I was thinking correctly.
What do you mean?
Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river, and then returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be two sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out to the bridge, and those from coming back.
Ah, you're right. You are forgetting one thing, Miles Edgeworth. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your precious contradiction now, doesn't it?
I see. While she was at the river, the snow stopped, leaving just the return tracks in the snow.
What do you have to say now, Miles Edgeworth?
Is there a flaw in her theory? This idea that the snowfall covered one set of tracks?
Safe.
There's a contradiction. It's probably the steps. The tracks to the river were covered by the snow. What a nice theory. However, Miss Von Karma, that's impossible.
Would you care to explain? Why is there a rude index finger currently pointed in my general direction?
No need. The evidence will do all the talking for me. On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge. In order to dispose of the murder weapon, the outgoing tracks were erased by snow, or so claims Miss Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth, present your evidence to the contrary. Evidence that the outgoing tracks were not covered by snow. I think it's going to be the same photo because there's also footprints.
Take that!
Did I miss? Oh, okay, well. Load. Okay. Maybe the weather data?
Take that!
Witness, please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime.
Like I said, it was around 11.
Of course, this means that the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. It's the weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder. The weather report. Thank you. Snow started to fall at 7, but it stopped at around 10:50. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11, the snow had already stopped falling. It's impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up. Also, I still think it's crazy because if somebody had gone to the bridge to throw the sword overboard at 11, the bridge would have already been blazing at that point. Looks like Miss Von Karma's claim's been snowed in.
It's too soon to be closing this trial due to snow. Miles Edgeworth, how pathetic of you to rely on the weather of all things. Answer me this then. When is a weather report ever correct?
No, you've got it all wrong. This isn't a forecast, this is actual data.
Forecast data, all weather reports have some inaccuracies. It may still have been snowing in the vicinity well past 11 p.m.
It's true, we cannot be totally sure. What? How'd she pull that off? It stopped snowing at Hazakura Temple when the murder took place. You need to provide conclusive evidence of this. Come this far, there's no turning back now. Very well. I too cannot allow any doubt to remain concerning this testimony.
Huh. You can't back down, can you? Such a perfectionist, Miles Edgeworth.
Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Where's your evidence that it had already stopped snowing when the victim was killed? I'm gonna assume it's the victim picture because if she was already dead, then her body would be getting colder and the snow would stick to her. So this is what I'm gonna go with.
Take that!
Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed.
That's right, but proving that is
incredibly easy. If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I am referring to the photo of the crime scene. As you can see, everything is covered with snow, with just one exception.
And that is
The victim herself, Miss Elisa Nim. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It stopped snowing when she was killed. That's why. In other words, if the killer really did go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, then in this photograph there should be 2 sets of tracks.
ah!
Let the bodies hit the floor! Let the bodies hit the floor!
What are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all the facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple. When the tracks left, it can be understood that they were headed for Dusky Bridge. At that time, it was still snowing.
Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by the snow.
Then when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, the snow stopped. Thus, the return tracks remained. It's probably Larry. Can I say something? This all sounds a bit fishy to me.
What does, sister?
There is only one key for the snowmobile.
Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant had it. The key was found in her room till after the murder.
Which can only mean that night, Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple. But Iris said she never went there. I should probably press on this point some more when I get the chance. The snowmobile can't cross the suspension bridge, so she must have left it on the Hazakura side of the bridge and crossed on foot. That sounds right. But what's odd is, when I left Iris and returned to Hazakura Temple, I didn't see anything near Dusky Bridge. She probably went down to Heavenly Hall. Or no, because she said she was afraid of that. But I mean, I don't trust anything Iris says. But Larry also said that she didn't meet him or whatever. They weren't wearing the helmet and flipped out the bike. I mean, snowmobile. Exactly.
You must have just failed to see it, sister.
Maybe. But when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. I know what I saw. It was covered in snow, too. But that isn't possible. What does it all mean? So then what was the snowmobile used for? It wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there would be 2 sets of tracks in the photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used the snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. I never thought a simple snowmobile could cause so much trouble. I think we've learned all we can from this witness. Yes, I've nothing more to add. I've told you everything. Everything that I know. But then that still leaves us with the same problem. If only there was someone, a witness who could testify to having seen the snowmobile. A witness, huh? Was there no one out, walking perhaps, near Dusky Bridge on that night? I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that. Unless they had something really important to do. It's a shame. Hold on. Something's coming to me. An idiot may well have gone wandering out on that subarctic night. Your Honor, actually there just might be one individual who may be of help to us. Really?
You know of someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder?
I don't know for sure if he saw it or not, but there are two things about him that do come to mind. Which are, first, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder.
And the second being?
This individual that I'm thinking of went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he is our kind of idiot. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this idiot you're talking about? Larry Butts! If something stinks, it's probably the Butts. This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc Deladuc's Guide to Obnoxious French Painting. This is Larry Butts, a disciple of the victim Elise Donim. A student? Interesting. And why was he wandering about outside on the night of the murder? And that's... I could tell them all about his designs for Iris, but it may cost us his credibility as a witness before I even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was perhaps searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him. Although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason.
And so, this unfortunate, unreliable-looking man, what exactly was it that he saw?
I intend to extract that from him right here in this courtroom. Summon this youth as a witness immediately.
I have no choice, do I?
I believe he's in the gallery for this trial. I will not take long to summon him. Very well. Larry. I hate relying on Larry for anything, dude! You may have escaped me yesterday, but today I'm gonna get everything out of you. The court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Ms. Von Karma, please see to preparing the next witness.
Understood, Your Honor.
Good. Well then, court's now in recess. Okay, cool. I think this might be a good place to call it. We've been about 2 hours, so. Yes, save your progress. Are we in 2-2 now? Yeah, 2-2. Cool. Awesome. Yes, I think I did do some good progress. So I feel good about that. Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the week. Take care of yourselves. Things are getting chilly out there. So wherever you're at, make sure you dress warmly. I just put away all my summer clothes and pulled out all my winter clothes this morning. So that's what I did. Yeah, well done. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome for the stream. I'm just going to peek real quick and see if there's anybody. No? Okay. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Stay safe, stay warm, everybody. Hopefully I'll see you soon. If I don't see you again before, I hope you guys have a very safe and fun Halloween if you're doing anything. Just remember to stay aware of your surroundings. But have some good old spooky fun. And I'll see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.